It's 14 before the hour. State Senator Pete Lucido, Republican from Shelby Township, is on our AT&T line. Welcome back to the program. It's been a tough summer, has it not, with the weather? I know the farmers are having a devil of a time. And for you, in your district, boating is also at the top of your mind, too, particularly when it comes to wake laws.
We've had a real trouble over here. The water levels are at an all-time record high, and the seawall was only made so high, figuring that we could protect the environment, more importantly, take care of the property owners, but it's not happening. The water's going up and over the seawalls. It's eroding away the seawall on the opposite side where it's backfilled. The water's making its way onto the streets, and it's causing a real dilemma here. And we need to make sure that things like this are taken care of from the parties that have the authority over them, such as the DNR, as well as the environmental protection. These people have to step up, and you just can't wait any longer.
You've got boaters right now listening wherever they are in the state, and your advice to them and your plea to them actually is what?
No wake zones. Obey the law. No wake zones. No wake zones were put on the books for a reason, and when you're tooling down a canal or an area where you're just idling, that's what you're supposed to do, so you're not stirring up the water. With all the boaters, and this is the boating season, as you indicated, when they're going down the canals and people are going faster than what's necessary, it stirs the water to a point where it's breaking over the break wall, and it's taking care of it's doing a lot of damage to the property owners, the soil, and it's eroding. It's causing more than a hack. And here's what I'd like everybody to realize. When we're going down the highway and we see construction workers, they put a 45-mile-an-hour sign out there or a 55-mile-an-hour sign. You're not allowed to go the speed limit. You're allowed to go what it says, which means we're trying to take caution to those that are out there working. There is the same respect that's given. No wake zone means don't go faster than what's necessary to throttle it through and idle it out to the Great Lakes. The problem is no one's obeying those rules, and the homeowners are at an uproar right now, and they want something to be done about it.
Difficult to enforce, though, isn't it?
When you have thousands and thousands of boaters out on the water, and you only have a handful of law enforcement or DNR officers or Coast Guard, you're darn right.
Let me get philosophical with you for a minute, because you're one of the more interesting members of the legislature.
I hope that's a good thing.
Yeah, no, it is. But you remember Wayne Dyer? He was the motivational author and speaker. He came out of Wayne State University, and he eventually lived in Hawaii. But you would see him on PBS very often. And one of the phrases that he mentioned, and he said it, I think I was with J.P. McCarthy at the time when he said it. Wayne Dyer said, "In life, the wake doesn't drive the boat." Would you agree with that?
I don't. Yeah, I think the wake doesn't drive the boat. It's the boat owner or the boat operator that drives the boat. Yeah, I would agree with that. The wake does not drive the boat.
So,
the wake, what happens is when you're taking advantage of somebody that lives on the water, you're taking and you're bringing a boat in, either into the canal where it's going to get parked, or out of the canal where it's going to go out to the water. You're smashing into the seawall. Some of these boats are coming in because the water's so stirred up, they can't even control the boats. And I've watched this personally this last weekend. So, yeah, I don't think the wake is steering the boat at all. I think the owner or the operator is.
You speaking of owning and operating, you were talking earlier this week about police looking through your cell phone and your pictures and downloading all your information and so forth. And it sounds like you want law enforcement to have limited access to be able to do that.
Technology has gone faster than we can as legislators to go ahead and keep up with the laws. And as a result, I know for a fact that after an arrest, they take all your personal property, including your cell phone. Every one of us are carrying cell phones. It's a part of us now. And as a result, they're acting as a computer. We download pictures. They're stored in our camera area of our phone. We have emails that are going back and forth that are personal. Messages, just like right now, me talking on my cell phone to you. It has a phone number. It talks how long we've had. If you have your location finder on, it shows every place you've ever been since you bought your cell phone and how long you spent there. It talks about every text message. All of that information should be sensitive and must be protected under the Fourth Amendment. The problem is there's no rules on the cloud. There's no rules on who's looking. There's no rules on who's sharing. And as a result, I brought a bill to make it law that says I have an expectation to a right to privacy under the Fourth Amendment to be secured in my person, things, which would be the thing I'm talking about, and places. Oddly enough, if the police department want to fight about this, whatever happened to their right of a Fourth Amendment also? And do we have the tools as citizens to do exactly what the police are doing? This is no different than anyone peeking in our windows. You don't have a right to do that. There's laws that says you can't do that. And without a law in place, we need to stop this.
Senate Bill 0341 would require police to get a search warrant to access data in your cell phone, computer, iPad, or other electric device. And that is thanks to State Senator Pete Lucido, the Republican from Shelby Township. Thank you very much for the time, sir. And please, he says, when you're driving through a no-wake zone, it's just like going through a construction zone. And if you get in trouble speeding in those zones, you're in big trouble. Plus, you're sort of being a bad neighbor.